We're ready.
They're birthing a new race.
We wait until they get sleepy. Wait until they get so big they can barely move. Then we walk out of the shadows and strike.
Don't let anybody make you think that God chose America as his divine messianic force to be a sort of policeman of the whole world. God has a way of standing before the nations with judgment, and it seems that I can hear God saying to America, you are too arrogant. You don't change your ways. You don't change your ways. I will rise up and break the backbone of your power. And I'll place it in the hands of a nation that doesn't even know my name. Be still and know that I'm God.
Be still and know that I am God. But America does not stand still, and neither will I. So wherever and whenever I can take steps without legislation, that's what I'm going to do. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. So wherever and whenever I can take steps without legislation, that's what I'm going to do.
Change is what's happening in America.
I give this to you. Are you up for whatever happens next?
As you say.
We were like a wind appearing out of nowhere.
Surprise.
We wait until they get sleepy. Wait until they get so big they can barely move. Then we walk out of the shadows. Quietly walk out of the dark. And strike.
Prepare to be crushed.
Pulling up. Rebecca, can you hear me?
Pero messing up.
All right, he's alone. I'll send her in.
Hey, I'm Kelly.
Ian, pleasure to meet you.
This is the main control room. This represents the reality that Ian's future, as well as yours, is being completely manipulated from an unseen force. What Ian perceives as reality is a complete setup. In actuality, as you will see, it is an unfathomable mockery.
Ian, pleasure to meet you.
If I give this to you, are you up for whatever happens next?
3 seconds ago, we gave Ian Rappaport a Bud Light and a choice. Ian is not an actor.
Are you up for whatever happens next?
He has no idea what's going to happen next.
I think I could do that.
All right, he's in the limo, Reggie. That's you.
What's your name?
Then we walk out of the shadows. Quietly walk out of the dark. And strike.
As you will see, it is an unfathomable mockery. The spiritual world manifests openly into the physical world. The spiritual world must be perceived through spiritual eyes. Those that live in the flesh see only the view of the flesh, but the spiritual eyes perceive the manifestation of the Spirit and its origin.
The United States is not a normal country. We're a homeland now, under military surveillance and military control.
Here is an actor. She is a female. She is controlled from behind the veil. She comes up and makes an offer to Ian.
Alright, he's alone. I'll send her in.
Ian is interested in fornication. This is why the female actress was used to convey the hidden message. Ian was given a choice.
If I give this to you, are you up for whatever happens next?
I think I could do that.
Alright, he's in the
And
limo
Ian
ready
said,
to do.
yes, he was. Here's the definition of whatever. An offer was made by a female. If I give you this, are you up for anything and everything that may come from your choice of accepting my offer? This is the real meaning. The first result of Ian's choice is that he is picked up by a limousine. A limousine is perceived as a symbol of success and affluence. What looks to be good to Ian is really a trap that he has agreed to step into.
For man does not know his time, like fish that are taken in an evil net, and like birds that are caught in a snare. So the children of man are snared at an evil time when it suddenly falls upon them.
Ian enters into the limousine and finds himself in the middle of a bachelorette party as the only male attending. The sexual and debaucherous connotations are obvious. Once again, what Ian thinks is great is really a manifestation of the fall of humanity, and he is being mocked. Even as Ian enters the limo, the author of his willfully accepting incantation, the Bud Light, is sitting in a predisposed position in the limo. Notice his Bud Light, which represents his fall into darkness, is waiting for him on an altar that displays the upside-down, right-side-up paradigm. His acceptance in the commercial is analogous to the fall of man creating an upside-down, right-side-up paradigm in the human race. Effectively, a race within a race in one body.
This is the world that you know.
And what we've been doing with the egg and the rebirth, it's meant to signify an artistic statement of birthing a new race. And it's a race with no prejudice, a race within the race of humanity that bears no prejudice against anyone. So that's really the statement in itself.
Well, that's great. That's really good.
There it is. So, you, for he himself is our peace, who has made both one, and has broken down the middle wall of separation, having abolished in his flesh, because we are in the flesh, and we are corrupted by the flesh, having abolished in his flesh the enmity, that is the law and commandments contained in ordinances, so as to create in himself, in Jesus Christ, one new man from the two, reconciling both to God in one body through the cross, putting to death the enmity. He preached peace to you who were afar off and those who were near. Two different seeds. That's what it is. There it is.
Are you up for whatever happens next?
I think I could do that.
Now that Ian, which means gift from God, has accepted the, quote, light from Kelly, which means female warrior, the gift from God has accepted the light from the female warrior. He has willfully accepted any and every consequence that will result from his choice. The real irony is that he is expecting a reward instead of a consequence from his choice. Next, Ian is forced to change his appearance, all compliments of his new host. The definition of a host is a person who receives another person as a guest. Also, a host is a plant or an animal in which a parasite lives. Ian is given a new look and is dressed up from his previous casual attire. His host has changed Ian's appearance.
It's pretty awesome being saw by Minka Kelly tonight.
I wish I could come with you.
I know, I wish you could too.
Bye, guys.
Minka, that was awesome.
Next, Ian, or the gift from God, enters an elevator with his new date and his new look. The door opens and Don Cheadle enters with a llama. Don is a black man that is dressed identically to Ian. The word Don means to put on or to slip into. The word Don also means Lord and Master. The reality is that Ian has slipped into darkness with his twin that represents the darkness, as well as representing his new Lord and Master, the darkness. This scene represents the new condition of Ian, half dark and half light, in the same attire. His master is leading a llama. If you Google the word llama in the mythology of llama, you will have come to find out that a llama represents a sacrifice. A llama was critical or crucial in the creation myth of the Incas, which were offspring of the fallen angels and the mating with humanity.
Genesis 6. When man began to multiply on the face of the land, and daughters were born to them, the sons of God saw that the daughters of man were attractive, and they took as their wives any they chose.
These remotely controlled bodies, called avatars, they're grown from human DNA, mixed with DNA of the natives.
I think the scripture that's very easy to understand is a little bit of leaven destroys the whole loaf, you know, and it says leaveneth the whole lump. And so what that means is a little bit of it goes through the whole thing. A little bit of fallen angel DNA goes through the whole human race. So now as you read your scriptures and you understand this paradigm.
The Nephilim were on the earth in those days, and also afterward, when the sons of God came in to the daughters of man, and they bore children to them. These were the mighty men who were of old, the men of renown. The Lord saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every intention of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. And the Lord was sorry that he had made man on the earth, and it grieved him to his heart.
This entire scene represents Ian's new condition as one of hybridization, half dark, half light. And the llama represents the creation myth from the Incan mythology, from breeding with the gods.
The world is full of giants. They have always been here. We were like a wind appearing out of nowhere.
You know, Daniel 2:43, the iron mixed with miry clay. It's very important that you understand he's forging metal. It represents forging the new race.
We're ready. We wait until they get sleepy. Wait until they get so big they can barely move. Then we walk out of the shadows. Quietly walk out of the dark and strike.
Prepare to be crushed in tiny tennis.
Okay, let's see the arms. You all look all pumped up. Very good. Just give me 5 push-ups.
When the sons of God came in to the daughters of man, and they bore children to them, these were the mighty men who were of old, the men of renown. The Lord saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every intention of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. And the Lord was sorry that he had made man on the earth, and it grieved him to his heart. So the Lord said, I will blot out man, whom I have created from the face of the land, man and animals, and creeping things, and birds of the heavens, for I am sorry that I have made them.
So the little girl says, we strike. Well, who's she talking about? The new race of beings that's being birthed within the human race. Let's look again one time at Kelly and the origin of Kelly. Kelly means female warrior, and it actually originates from Kali. Well, Kali, if you look up Kali, you do your homework, Kali is a mother goddess, and although the Hindus consider her the mother goddess savior, it's really the mother goddess of all demons, and she carries a trident as well. Now let's look one more time at Ian. Ian means gift from God, or God's gift. Well, God's gift is life, guys, and the devil, he takes life. So Ian means gift from God. And this morning, the Lord put it on me to look up the name Rappaport. This is fascinating. Rappaport is Hebrew, and it was also blended. If you go and you you do your research, you'll find out that it was Rapa was originally the Jewish name, and it was blended in a place in Italy, and it became Rapa Port. It's from what's called a Cohenitic pedigree. Cohen is the Hebrew word for priest, and it is believed that they are direct patrilineal descent from the biblical Aaron, and their job was to offer sacrifices to God. So Kali comes up, the prince of demons in female form, comes up and offers Ian her light. His last name just happens to be from Jewish descent as the first Levitical priest.
Now the earth was corrupt in God's sight, and the earth was filled with violence, and God saw the earth, and behold, it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted their way on the earth. And God said to Noah, I have determined to make an end of all flesh, for the earth is filled with violence through them. Behold, I will destroy them with the earth.
The door to the elevator opens again. This time a female enters that is the identical twin of Ian's day. Ian comments and says, Twins.
Yes.
This is a bizarre day.
Ian is standing in the elevator with a twin of sorts, although his twin paradigm is half dark and half light, whereas the girls are identical. The meaning becomes clear when the elevator door opens and Ian steps into a party where everyone is an identical twin. The message is that the two species have become the same. The new race is now homogeneous. As a quick recap from the beginning, female warrior seduced gift from God into accepting any consequence that would come from his free will choice in accepting her light.
One of the mistakes that human beings make is believing that there is only one way to live. That's and right. That we don't accept that there are diverse ways of being in the world, that there are millions of ways to be a human being. And many ways, no, but many paths to what you call God. And her path might be something else, and when she gets there, she might call it the light. But her loving and her kindness and her generosity brings her, if it brings her to the same point that it brings you, it doesn't matter whether she called it God along the way or not.
And I guess the danger that could be in that, I mean, it sounds great on the onset, but if you really look at both sides,
there couldn't possibly be just one way. What about Jesus? What about Jesus?
From the beginning, female warrior seduced gift from God into accepting any consequence that would come from his free will choice in accepting her light.
I think I could do that.
After agreeing, gift from God had his appearance changed and met his dark half and was mocked as being a sacrifice, epitomized by the llama alongside his new lord and master, Dawn. Now he is in a world with all twins, and his ultimate mockery awaits him. In the beginning, gift from God accepted female warrior's offer. He took her light and became a half-dark, half-light paradigm. The social structure paradigm became all identical twins. As a final result of his dawning or slipping into his new apparel, represented by darkness, he opens the door to the eventuality of his choice in the beer garden. Prepare to be crushed.
But I believe what was once one race is now two. One above and one below. Two distinct species that have evolved.
And how do those below survive?
That is the real question, isn't it?
In the rebirth, it's meant to signify an artistic statement of birthing a new race.
As with any birth, the female must have the water break in the amniotic sac. Then there is a gushing forth of water. It means ready or not, the birth is commencing.
A race within the race of humanity.
Yeah.
Let's look at a plaque from the Hoover Dam. Here is an image of a man with his arms bent and up, like he is flexing his muscles.
Okay, let's see the arms. You all look up there very good.
Each separate hand has a particular grain. These also represent different seeds. The position of the arms and the torso also mimic the female reproductive system. The entirety of the image forms Baphomet, the devil. The plaque reads, "They died to make the desert bloom." The meaning, the human race, the gift from God, died to make way for a race that was desolate like a desert. Notice that Arnold, which means eagle power, tells Ian to put his arms up, mimicking the plaque at the Hoover Dam. Then he tells Ian to lay down and do some push-ups, once again mimicking the plaque at the Hoover Dam, where the man is laying in the water. All that is visible is his face. You will notice on the shirts of the people in the crowd, these same images are on the white shirt and the blue shirt. The white shirt has a man holding his arms up, identical to the plaque at the Hoover Dam. The blue shirt has just a face on a blue background, which would be the same as just the face in the water at the Hoover Dam. Notice that the crowd is in 3 rows of bleachers. There are 3 white shirts on the right side of each row, and there are 3 blue shirts on the left side of each of the 3 rows. This produces a half and half paradigm. It's also 3 rows of 6. 6, 6, 6. They have identical images and symbology on their shirts as the plaque at the Hoover Dam. Arnold once again means eagle power, and Schwarzenegger means that edge of darkness. Ian has laid down on the blue floor, which represents the water and emulates the plaque of the Hoover Dam. Now look at the design of the ping pong table. Lay them on top of each other. Now comes the complete and utter mockery that is almost unfathomable. A Bud Light commercial is a mockery from the beginning of the human race to the end. Ian raises his hands in victory, and the wall crashes down. This represents the water breaking. The wall of the dam will fall of the Hoover Dam. It will represent the water breaking as a birth. The new race is being birthed. The devil's race has been birthed, and the band playing is One Republic, meaning New World Order of Satan's children on earth. Ian's choice in the garden has led the complete destruction of his race, giving way to a new race birthed within the human race.
One below.
Hell on earth is about to be birthed. Are you up for whatever?
And the performance we did last night at the Grammys was, and what we've been doing with the egg and the rebirth, it's meant to signify an artistic statement of birthing a new race, a race within the race of humanity.
I give this to you. Are you up for whatever happens next?
I intend to keep trying with or without comment. I can take steps without legislation.
Don't let anybody make you think that God chose America as his divine, messianic force to be a sort of policeman of the whole world.
I have 2 words for you: predator drones.
God has a way of standing before the nations with judgment, and it seems that I can hear God saying to America, "You are too arrogant. You don't change your ways. I will rise up and break the backbone of your power, and I'll place it in the hands of a nation that doesn't even know my name. Be still and know that I'm God."
What I've been saying since January 1st is that we're now in a countdown toward a thermonuclear war. What we're in now is just provocations against Russia to try to set up a situation which will trigger a Russian response of the type they want, and then they will immediately launch thermonuclear war.
Artistic statement of birthing a new race and strike.
I realize the country is totally changed, that the government is not responsive to the people, either in protecting us from something like 9/11, which they should have done, could have done, did not do.
Trucking on down the line, trucking on down the line, trucking on down the line. Can't get bad things off the mind. Trucking on down the line, trucking on down the line.
This is shameful. The media, which is controlled by the great conglomerates, which control the political system, has done an atrocious job of reporting. This thing is surrealistic now, and it is getting nastier and nastier as we are more and more kept in the dark about those things which most affect us, which are war and peace, as the reign of terror, as the reign of terror, as the reign of terror.
This sort of moody persona and the stare and the eyes and all that sort of thing, that's just you. The eye in the hand. And what is that? What is the eye in the hand? Let's see that again.
Protection.
Protection. What does that mean?
Protection from death.
Oh.
For he has not despised or abhorred the affliction of the afflicted. And he has not hidden his face from him, but has heard when he cried to him. From you comes my praise in the great congregation. My vows I will perform before those who fear him. The afflicted shall eat and be satisfied. Those who seek him shall praise the Lord. May your hearts live forever. All the ends of the earth shall remember and turn to the Lord, and all the families of the nations shall worship before you. For kingship belongs to the Lord, and he rules over the nations.
The world is full of giants. They have always been here. We were like a wind appearing out of nowhere. Then we're ready. We wait until they get sleepy. Wait until they get so big they can barely move. Then we walk out of the shadows.
Meant to signify an artistic statement of birthing a new race. A race within the race of humanity.
Quietly walk out of the dark and strike.